George Floyd's tragic journey ends at a Houston cemetery, but across the U.S., the movement he inspired continues. A montage of demonstrations in Floyd's name, played at his funeral, displays his legacy and inspires a call to action from civil rights leaders.
God took the rejected stone and made him the cornerstone of a movement that's going to change the whole wide world.
Friends and family remember the man they knew as Perry, or Big Floyd.
I'm going to miss my brother a whole lot, and I just want to say to him, I love you, and I thank God for giving me my own personal Superman.
This is not just murder, but a hate crime. I share happy memories with my uncle. Now that's all I have, are memories. I still can't pull myself together to how he is calling out my grandma a name. I believe my grandmother was right there with open arms saying, "Come home, baby, you shouldn't feel this pain. No one should feel this pain."
The life of the man who died beneath a policeman's knee was celebrated by members of Congress and a presidential candidate who spoke directly to Floyd's daughter, Gianna.
Now is the time for racial justice. That's the answer we must give to our children when they ask why. Because when there is justice for George Floyd, we will truly be on our way to racial justice in America. And then, as you said, Gianna, your daddy will have changed the world.
The funeral followed memorials in Minneapolis and North Carolina and a viewing in Houston attended by thousands who remembered his final words, "I can't breathe." In the weeks, months, and years after these people have left this ceremony, George Floyd may well be best remembered as an accidental agent of change, someone who transformed the world less by what he did than by what was done to him. Some who didn't make the invitation list inside said they were outside because they're concerned about the next generation.
I came out because I'm a black mom with 2 black sons, a daughter, and I have grandsons that's afraid of the police. And, afraid that they'll be shot because of the color of their skin.
So when you hear stories like the one about Mr. Floyd, what does that make you think?
Scared.
Yeah. George Floyd was buried next to his mother in the place he once called home.
Your family's gonna miss you, George, but your nation is going to always remember your name.
He left behind children, a family, and a movement they hope will end the pattern of unarmed African Americans dying at the hands of police. John Hendren, Al Jazeera, Houston.
Well, Lester Spence is a professor at Johns Hopkins University. He says it's hard to gauge how successful the protest movement will be in bringing about real change.
I know I've never seen anything like this in my life. So it's possible we're in like a 1955 moment in American terms, where the civil rights movement is just beginning and we have 15 years of victories in front of us. Or it's possible we're in a 1968 moment where we had rebellions in the United States and around the world. And if you'd asked those participants what was going to happen, they would have said the revolution was coming. And then 1970, next thing you know, Chile gets taken over and New York City gets placed under austerity. So what I do know is that this is a moment people are doing everything we can to keep that window open, and and we'll see. I'm hopeful, and I rarely use that word. But the other thing is this legislation that we've been seeing passed, right? Again, Colorado is by no means a liberal state, and they've got significant political hurdles that organizers there have been able to overcome. So it's also about taking advantage of this moment and rolling out kind of legislation that a lot of us have been working on in cities and in states.